Good afternoon, ladies and gents. I'm KD. These are my leaf diaries. Today I'm going to talk to you about humidors. Temperature controlled humidors, electric humidors, winodors, whichever way you want to call them, and your bog standard Spanish cedar wood humidor. Now the one major difference is in a standard wooden or cedar wood humidor, you can't really control the temperature. The only thing you can do is control the temperature within the room where the humidor is situated, whereas with winodors, electric humidors, or temperature controlled humidors, you can actually control the temperature of the environment inside the humidor. So they are a lot more precise from a temperature perspective. Now, we all know that humidity is based on temperature. Lower the temperature, less the humidity, higher the temperature, higher humidity. So especially in UK summer, especially in the last probably 3-4 years where we've had record high temperatures, the humidity will also rise dramatically within your humidor. I had a very similar experience last year when I went to Bulgaria for 6 weeks. My humidor spiked, went north of 80% humidity. I had my neighbor running in and out of my office to fix the humidity by opening the doors of the office, opening the doors of the humidor, trying to get that humidity out. Now, although we were able and successful to somewhat control the humidity, we weren't able to completely control the humidity, and as a result I lost 3, 4, 5 boxes of La Casa del Habano edition cigars, full boxes, which wasn't a very pleasant experience. Those of you who smoke La Casa del Habano, regardless of which edition it is, you'll know that they're more expensive than the standard production and a lot more difficult to come by. So losing several boxes of those is not a very pleasant experience. But although you can control temperature with the electric humidors, they have a problem where on the bottom of the actual humidor there is a hole to collect so that the humidor can collect condensation, because if the humidor is keeping a standard 18-19 degrees Celsius and outside is 30, it's going to condense. So it has like a small hole to take the condensation out back into the system, and then it recirculates. And the problem is that tiny hole can sometimes get clogged from small particles of tobacco or other pieces of things that can get into your humidor, or by a very weird drop that will sit on top and not sink into the hole. What happens then is the bottom of that electric humidor will flood, and it will either soak your cigar boxes, and if it doesn't soak the cigar boxes, it will dramatically increase the humidity inside, because it is circulating air and there is actual water sitting on the bottom. So if you've got water sitting in your humidor and there's something constantly blowing on it, this is the easiest way to get the humidity up. In some of my previous videos I've used water crystals and a small desktop fan to blow on them to increase humidity quickly when I need it in my big humidor. If you follow me, you'll know that I don't like to give opinions. I don't like to tell people what to do with their cigars and their cigar experience, but I will give you my recommendations instead. And my recommendation is go with a standard humidor, a cedar humidor. Control your humidity in the humidor whichever way you like, whether you're going to choose water crystals, something like an Oasis system, which is an active system to drive humidity up, or you're going to take the patient way in seasoning your humidor properly for a few weeks and then use Boveda packs. Whichever way you go with is what I would recommend in a standard standard cedarwood humidor. And then control the temperature and humidity outside of the humidor, because it's a lot more gentler experience for your cigars within the humidor. If the room that you've got your humidor in is at the right temperature and the right humidity, then there is very little chance of your humidor humidity and temperature going wrong. There are a few things that you can try, you can use, especially if you're not around your humidor, if you want to have a great control over your humidity. things like humidity and temperature sensors, which are internet enabled with a Wi-Fi gateway. This is a temperature and humidity sensor I use in my big humidor. I've got two of these. One sits on the top shelf, one sits on the bottom shelf, so I've got a clear visibility of how the humidity is doing both sides of my humidor. For those of you that don't know, usually humidity stays on the bottom and the dry air stays on the top. Because it's colder on the bottom, it's hotter on the top. So I use fans, as I've showed in previous videos, to push humidity up and keep that circulation of humidity and air within my humidor. And then I use this. This is a Sonoff Wi-Fi gateway. This connects to my Wi-Fi router and then connects to my humidity and temperature sensors, and this will then send signal. Sorry, the sensor will send a signal to this Wi-Fi gateway, and that Wi-Fi gateway will then publish it on the internet for me so I can consume it. All of these you can find in the link in my bio. I've got a link tree. Feel free to have a look at them. They're not very expensive. Considering what you're guarding with them, they're actually quite cheap. The second part of the video is around what I do when I'm not around. Now, last year, all previous years I haven't had a problem, but last year I did have a big problem. Like I said, very high humidity, very high temperatures. I only had the sensors to guide me in terms of what's going on in my humidor, and I had my neighbor helping me to control that situation as much as possible. This year I'm going to take matters into my own hands a little bit more. So what I'm planning to do is to invest in a dehumidifier, which is internet enabled, so I can control it over the internet. I can start it and stop it over the internet, and I'll also invest into an air conditioning unit for my office to make sure that I can cool the room, and if the humidity spikes up, I can take the humidity down with the dehumidifier. Having no humidity is not great either, but the chances of having no humidity are very slim to none, because I've got massive Boveda packs, and they won't, regardless of what happens, I've got 6 of the biggest humidity packs from Boveda, 250 grams. They won't go up for 6 weeks. I'm 100% convinced of that. I'll probably make a video of what I buy and how I situate things in the office and how I configure them to make sure that I've got full visibility of them, to give you a little bit more around that. But this is basically what my advice would be to you guys. Use cedar wood humidors, season them properly, use Boveda packs, the more the better. Use internet enabled humidity and temperature sensors, track them on your mobile. That's probably the best way, and then react based on what's happening in your humidor. That's basically it from me. Any more questions, please don't hesitate to ask me in the comment section below. And also, don't forget to like, share, follow, comment, do all of the fun bits from a social media perspective. It really helps me when I have a big following, because it gives me that sense of accomplishment and helps me to drive things forward. Thank you very much again. I'll catch you in the next video.